Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 15th. And as I'm on the mend, the market continues its skyward run and doing so very impressively, despite all the political turmoils and that. The reality is the market sees that there's a lot of stagnation, and yet still there's going to be some rollback of regulation in that, which is always going to be helpful. The question is supposed to be within the next week or so that we're going to get a version of the tax break, cut, whatever it is that's going to be happening. And this is the front loading that takes place ahead of that. You can see dramatic with the shorts well underneath there, but skyrocketing here now. We're almost unheard of levels from a daily for the red DOC. That's something to be, I don't know about scared. It's just, it's not sustainable. Let's just put it that way. Leave it at that simple comment. And then for the NQ, likewise, going through now. NQ's already well over there. I mean, this is crazy. I have to shrink the charts, go back quite a ways to try and find a point where we're this overbought, in the sense that we can actually see that we are, in fact, going parabolic from a direction that otherwise you can have high run buy-ins and not get. I mean, look at, we had this entire move right here and we barely got over zero on that whole, 85 plus point move. Here you are just in this small little move here from 2270 to 2330, the same type of span, and you can see the effect that it's having. So it's not that there just aren't a significant number of shorts that are propelling prices. This is all buyers having to push this, and that's the effect. So it's worth noting. Euro also under pressure. This is not good for the market, and the fact that we've been holding up well underneath there. Like I said, you have the counterplay of the potential tax savings could mitigate that. You have the potential for the Greek debacle. Now the fact that they're talking about using the US dollar, that stabilizes things a little bit. Fits right within the Trump narrative of wanting to break up the EU as much as he can to limit their impact against US trade. Unfortunately, that has drawbacks because it does mean a strong dollar. You can't have both a weak dollar and a really, pumped up economy. It just isn't going to work unless everyone normalizes their trade as a static, and that's just not happening. Now, Yellen in her comments, obviously that's caused some scare in bonds, but people flew back right at this pivot line here, right around that 119.52 range that I've been talking about here on TLT. We still expect, if she's going to follow through with those rate hikes, you're going down. No question about it. Oil, stagnation. I mean, that's such an easy call for that one at this particular point. And gold still has a general upside bias. You can see from an intraday, we went into this little bit of a flat range, got soft, this sketchy part of the shakeout, not doing anything, but then boom, turned and went positive, and then from there it was just straight up. So it was pretty clean, straightforward, a lot of cyan to the red DOC for the most part throughout the whole chart. So ended up with this tiny little brief area of 3 bars, which tends to be a kind of a general false narrative typically happens. In this particular case, when you had the rising gold in that, it faded off a little bit, but you still ended up with rising blue and azure, and as those continue, it's not until they even out right here. Now I would say that you're more susceptible to an actual pullback than we've had before. So it's an easy way to look at it from that standpoint. As long as these are continuing to move, you're seeing continued broader action piling in. So there you have it for the most part. I think everyone is still just waiting to see what that break is going to be as far as will the tax things make a modification? How is the Obamacare taxes being handled? Will that get repealed or kept? It's a huge amount of money, so it makes a difference, and certainly is going to have an impact. I've always said from day one that the Obamacare was the biggest job killer that had been created, part of a no-growth policy, and you get rid of that burden, but you got to come up with something else. So this is the political side of fiscally what we know has been pulling business from hiring additional people because it just becomes too expensive. That's the long and the short of it. As always, though, continue to look for me on the Skype chat. I'm on the mend, so hopefully I'm going to be 100% here by the end of the week, which would be nice. And we'll get back to rock and roll. Trade well.